students, so let's begin with your review today for the homework, okay? So it's your unit exam review, front and back. That's due for tomorrow. I'm sorry, not tomorrow, but on Tuesday. Okay, so we're doing, here it's a chocolate factory, and this is a table of how they sell chocolate per weight and the prices for each category of that weight, okay, as you read the problem. The first thing they want you to do is to do a compound inequality to represent C, the weight of the chocolate bars that cost $35. So this is very similar to the problem we did today in class with the water being solid, being liquid, and gas. So before we do the compound inequality, we have to figure out what all these words mean, and they look different and maybe a little bit confusing. Here it says that the price for $20 is a regular, and it says up to 2 pounds. So we got to figure out what up to means, okay, in order for us to do the inequality. Now in class, we also discussed that it was easier to draw the graph first and then do the inequality, so that worked for most of you. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to draw a graph here, and we're talking about weight in pounds of chocolate you're going to buy, so obviously you cannot buy negative amounts of chocolate. So we're going to start this with a 0. So up to 2 pounds, let's say 2 pounds is here. Okay, and so from 0 to 2 pounds, I'm going to pay $20. That's what this means. Now when it says up to, it means that 2 pounds is included. So over here would be a closed circle. Okay, so if I buy 0 to 2 pounds, I'm paying $20. The 0, I'll have an open circle here because obviously you're not going to buy 0 pounds of chocolate, right? So from there, all the values in between that, from 0 to 2, are going to cost me $20. Okay? Now the next says 3 pounds over the regular. So 3 pounds over. So it's not starting at 3 pounds, it's starting at 3 pounds over the regular. So the regular ended at 2. So I'm going to draw the same line here. So 3 pounds over the 2, this is a 2 pounds, this is 0. 3 pounds over would be 4, 5, we're going to do 5 pounds. Right, because 2 plus the 3 would be 5. So from 2 to 5, it's a $35 cost, right? Now we talked about this in class too. The 2 pounds, and this is a L, not a 21, guys, okay? The 2 pounds is already included in the $20 price, so I cannot also include it in the 35. Otherwise, when your customers go to the store and they buy exactly 2 pounds, they're going to be confused. Well, am I paying 20 or am I paying 35, right? So if it's already included here, it cannot be included there. From there, all the way to the 5 pounds, which is included, right? 3 pounds over would be exactly 5. And all those pounds in between would be the $35 category. Okay? Finally, I have the last category of $50. It says more than 3 pounds, but no more than 8 pounds over the regular. Okay? So again, over the regular vocabulary again. That means I have to add the regular, right? So more than 3 pounds over the regular would be 3 plus 2, which is 5. So I'm drawing my graph again. 0, this is 2 pounds, this is 5. Okay, so more than 3 pounds would be here at 5, and no more than 8 pounds of a regular. So 8 pounds of a regular would be 8 plus the 2, right? So it's 10. So all the way to 10 over here. The 5 pounds is already in the $35 category, so I cannot include it here again, because then again, your customers are going to go in, if they buy exactly 5 pounds, they're going to be confused, like, well, am I paying 35 or am I paying 50? So because it's already included here, it cannot be included there. And then the 10 pounds would be included. So from that all the way to 10 pounds, this is going to be the $50. Okay? Every time I saw the over regular, I know that it's going to be like plus 2. Every time I saw the over regular, I'm going to add 2 because a regular is 2 pounds, right? So these are my three graphs here of how this looks like. Now I'm prepared to answer the question. Here they want me to do the 35, so this one in the middle. I'm going to redraw it here. So 35 was from 2 pounds to 5 pounds. Okay, from 2 to 5, 5 is included. And they want me to write it as a compound inequality. Excuse the announcement.
Good afternoon, teachers. 12th grade teachers, if you can please join me in the conference room. 12th grade teachers, please join me in the conference room. And teachers, once you finish with duty and leave your lesson plans ready with your grades, make sure that your grades have been entered and check that you have 5 formative and 1 summative assessment included in your grades. And once you leave your copies made for Monday and your data board for Tuesday, enjoy your 3-day weekend, and we'll see everybody on Tuesday. Again, please do not leave until your grades have been completed.
Sorry about that. So we're going to continue. So I'm going to write
And we'll see everyone on Tuesday morning. Thank you so much. 12th grade teachers, if you can please report to the conference room.
Okay, so now I'm going to write this into an inequality. So I know that this looks like an and these are my two points are going to be before and after, like my endpoints. So I'll have from 2 to 5. They want me to use C, so that's very important that I use the letter that the variable that they asked me to use, so I don't lose any points. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and put my signs. Just like I did in class, I'm used to seeing the variable first and then the number, right? So I am going to go ahead and do this side first from C and 5. So I'm here at 5, okay? And at 5, the C or the cost is highlighted or bolded or shaded, however you want to say it, to the left of that. So it's 5 pounds or less over here to the left. So in relationship to the 5, this is going that way. Okay, so that means that it's going to be less than. So C will be less than 5. Because I shaded the 5, this will be or equal to. On the other side, I already know this one's facing that direction, so for sure this one will face that direction too. But I can double check. Between the C and the 2, C is greater than 2. So I'll check on my graph. Here's a 2, and C, which is the shaded portion, right, where the numbers are, it is to the left, so that means that it is correct. Okay? This one's open circle, so that would be like this only. So I'm done with that. In the next part it says, what if you purchase 2 packets of $35? How would the inequality look? Well, this one's 1 packet of $35. Now I'm going to do 2 packets, okay? So if I do 2 packets, I would have to double the pounds, right? So instead of 2 pounds, I would have to have 4 pounds here because I'm buying 2 of them. If I had 5, I'm going to have 10 because I have 2 of them. So I wouldn't have 1 weight of the chocolate, I would have 2 weight of the chocolates. So you can reason it that way, or you can also say, well, I can have the same inequality and I'll just have to double it because I have 2 of them. So everything in here I would double. So it would be 4, 2C, and 10. So this would be what it would look like if I had 2 of those packets, right? This doubled, that doubled, this also doubled. That's what it would look like, okay? Letter C asked me about the $50, okay, category for the chocolate. So the $50 one is this one. So I'll write here. The $50 I have from 5 pounds to 10 pounds. Okay, and the 5 was not included, and the 10 was included. And everything in between here was the $50. Okay? So now I have to write the inequality for that. Again, this is an and inequality, and the values are in between those 2 numbers. So in the inequality, I will put it in between those 2 numbers. Again, they want us to use C, so C goes here. From the C and the 10. So from the 10 over here, right, the C or the weight is to the left. So I have it shaded to the left. So that means that C is less, it goes this way, less than 10. So less than 10. 10 is included, so it'll be or equal to. From the 5, it goes to the right, right? So from 5, it goes this way to the right, so it'll be greater than 5. Okay, C is greater than 5. And this is open, so I'll leave it. And that's it. That's my answer for that. For letter D says, would the inequalities from part A and B overlap when graphed on a number line? Why or why not? So this is what we discussed over and over in class yesterday and today. So let me redraw the graphs for A and for part A, which is this, and actually this should say part C, not B, okay? So from part A, here's my graph. I'm at 2 pounds, okay, and this is at 5 pounds. And this is a $35 packet. And then from part C, I'm over here, right? This is 2 pounds, this is 5 pounds, this is 10 pounds. Okay? And for the $50 packet, it looks like this. Okay, so they're asking me if they overlap. Okay, the only overlap that I see that looks like an overlap would be right here on the 5s, at the 5 pound mark. Okay, however, this one is open, this one is closed and this one is open, so really there's no overlap. Remember in class I told you that, and earlier when I was explaining the problem I also told you that. If a customer walks in to buy 5 pounds of chocolate and 5 pounds is included in both, in other words, if they would overlap, then the customer would not even know what to pay. Well, am I paying $35 or am I paying $50 because the 5 pounds would be included in both? So we cannot have that in the same category. So if it's already, the 5 pounds is already in the $35 category for chocolate price, it cannot be in the $50 one as well. So this one has to be open. So you would say that there's no overlap. But that's not enough for the question, right? They want to know why or why not. So you can explain what I just said, like the chocolate, the 5 pounds is included in the $35 category, and it cannot be also included in the $50 category. Otherwise, the customers will be confused as to what to pay if they buy exactly 5 pounds, right? So it cannot be in both categories. Okay, so I'm going to write that down.
All new teachers, if you report to the conference room at this time, all new teachers. If you attend a new teacher institute and you're a new teacher this year, please join us in the conference room. You do not need anything with you, just your amazing self, please.
So now there is no overlap. The 5 pounds of chocolate is included in the $35 category, so it cannot be included on the $50 category as well. Otherwise, customers will be confused on what amount to pay for the 5 pounds of chocolate. Okay, if you have a better way of writing it or have like a nicer sentence, but it explains the same stuff, go ahead and write your own version. It doesn't have to be verbatim as I wrote it. Okay, as long as you explain it kind of how I explained it here. Alright, so I'm going to go over to the other side of the paper. Number 2, it's asking if Sabrina made an error in this equation. So whenever I'm doing discovering errors, I'm going to have to do my own problem first and then compare it to the student that they are that they have right here so I can do the error analysis and see if they actually made an error. So I'm going to go ahead and first distribute. Negative 2 times 8m would be negative 16m. Negative 2 times positive 8 would be negative 16, and it equals negative 16. So I compare, they did this right. Oh, wait a second, here's the error. When they multiply negative 2 times 8, they put plus 16 instead of minus 16. So then I would say, did Sabrina make an error in the equation, instead of the equation below? So I'll answer it and say, yes, Sabrina made an error. Okay? And then I have to explain, right? When she distributed in the first step, she multiplied negative 2 times positive 8 and got positive 16, and she should have gotten negative 16, okay? Because negative times a positive equals a negative, okay? So that was number 2. For number 3, we had to, from A, B, C, and D, which one is equivalent to this? So this one I will simplify it and see if it matches any of them, and then keep working it until I see if it matches one of the answer choices or has the same answer as the answer choices. So I'll distribute first. 4 times G is 4G. 4 times 3 is positive 12. I look and see if there's any, and then I notice, oh, wait a second, letter C is already like that, so that's my answer. Okay? For number 4, it has an equation that has the variable of x, and then it asks, what is the value of 2x? So it's not really asking you what x is, it's asking you what 2x is. So in this case, I need to know what x is first using this equation, and then I have to multiply it by 2. And once I know the value of x, I can know what 2x is. In other words, x times 2. So I'll go ahead and do my equation. I have to isolate the variable here. I'll start right on doing the addition of 1.3. I do the same thing to both sides. Here they're both negative, so I add them and keep the sign because they have the same sign. Okay. Now I'll divide to undo this multiplication, so x is finally isolated. This becomes a 1. I have x left, and now I divide that. Now this is a decimal, and I don't want decimal, so I'm going to make them whole numbers. If I move this one over to the right once, I can also do the same thing to the bottom. In other words, I'm multiplying both by 10. And it will be negative 45 divided by 5. That's way easier than this one. So that would give me negative 9. So x is negative 9. Now that I know the value of x, I can just substitute it in to figure out what the value of 2x is. So that will be negative 18. Okay? So, for the last problem, it is a word problem, and I do apologize that I gave you a very small space for it. So I apologize for that. Let me see if I can get paper. So I can have more space to work it out. Okay, so you already read the problem. You know that there are 4 people, okay, and they're solving algebra problems. And then they tell us Brandon solved 1/2 the number of problems as Mia, so this is Brandon. And then they say that Mia solved 3 times as many problems, Sophia solved as many times as many problems as Mia. And then they tell us that Ashley solved 10 problems. Okay? And the whole group solved 37 together. during the 1 hour Saturday session, and then we're looking for how many did Mia solve. Okay? So when I finally answer my question, my sentence would be, Mia solved, right, blank amount, blank problems. Okay? Or algebra problems, and you can add to the sentence in the hour of Saturday school or during Saturday school or whatever it is, but basically this. So I'm looking for how many problems Mia solved. I'm going to go back to this. Here I know that Mia plus Brandon plus Sophia plus Ashley, all of them together solved 37 problems. So I know that it said a total, so total told me it's a sum, okay? Then, I also know here that Brandon solved 1/2 the number of problems as Mia, okay? So that means that whatever problems Mia solved, Brandon solved 1/2 of that. So, half of Mia, okay? Then Sophia solved 3 times as many problems as Mia. So whatever problems Mia solved, Sophia solved 3 times as much. So in other words, times 3. So 3 times Mia. Okay? And then Ashley just solved 10 problems. So Ashley 10. Okay, we already know what Ashley did. And we're looking for Mia. So Mia, I don't know. I don't know Mia. Okay? Notice that all of them have Mia. So, well, actually it's already 10. So Mia, I'm going to decide that Mia is going to be my variable. So Mia will be X. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite all of them. So now, over here, Sophia will be, instead of 3M, Sophia will be 3X, because Mia is X now. Okay? And then Brandon, instead of half of Mia, will be 1/2 X, because Mia is X now. Okay? I'm going to write all of these right here. Okay, and let me write it again. Okay, Mia is X. Brandon is 1/2 X. Sophia is 3X. And Ashley, it's already 10 problems, so just 10. And that equals 37. Okay? Now I need to solve this equation for X in order to know how many problems Mia solved. Okay? So I'm going to have to combine like terms first. I'm going to combine the X's. If I don't see a number, this is a 1. So all of these are like terms. Okay, and I'm going to have 1.5 plus 3 is going to be 4.5. You can do it in decimal or you can do it in a fraction form. So I'll have 4.5x plus 10 equals 37. From here I'll do minus 10, 4.5 equals 27. Okay, and then from here, and then x, I'm sorry. And from here we will divide by 4.5. And then I'll have x equals 27 over 4.5. Okay? This is a decimal, so I don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to move the point once, and I'll also do the same thing on the top so that it's as if I'm multiplying by 10. This is the same thing you would do if you do it right away over here, right? When you have 27 divided by 4.5, you would do like 1, 1, right? So I'm doing the same thing but in the fraction form. So I'll have 270 divided by 45. Here you can go straight to the division, or you can simplify over here by 9. So by 9, it would be 9 times 30, gives me that. 9 times 5 gives me 45. And then now it's easy to do. What's 30 divided by 5? 6. Okay? So Mia solved 6 problems. Alright, so that's the review. I know that this was a kind of a long video, but make sure that you pay special attention to especially this problem that will be part of your free response on Tuesday. So have a great weekend.